What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing characters we've seen from GTA 6 so far, Raul Bautista. And trust me, this guy is about to become your new favorite criminal mastermind. So who exactly is Raul Bautista? Well, he's not your typical GTA antagonist. This dude is a veteran bank robber who's been running schemes in Vice City for years. Think of him as that one friend who always has the wildest plans but somehow makes them work. Except his plans involve robbing banks and probably getting you arrested. What makes Raul stand out is his whole vibe. The man's got this perfect mix of confidence, charm, and cunning that just screams main character energy. He's not just some random thug causing chaos. Nah, Raul's a professional who knows the game inside and out. When he says, "Experience counts," you better believe he's not lying. Raul's constantly hunting for new talent. He's like a criminal talent scout, always looking for fresh faces who are willing to take those massive risks for even bigger rewards. This isn't just about finding muscle or drivers. He wants people who can think on their feet and aren't afraid to go all in when the stakes are high. The crazy part about Raul is how he balances being both calculated and completely reckless at the same time. He's got this mentality of a professional adapts, which shows he's flexible and can roll with whatever chaos comes his way. But at the same time, his recklessness keeps pushing every job to the absolute limit. And honestly, that's what makes him so compelling as a character. Every score he pulls raises the stakes higher and higher. It's like he's addicted to that adrenaline rush of almost getting caught. Eventually, his crew is going to have to make a choice. Either they double down and match his energy, or they cash out before everything goes sideways. What's really smart about Rockstar's approach with Raul is that he represents this old-school criminal mentality in a modern setting. He's been doing this long enough to know all the tricks, but he's still hungry for that next big score. It's giving us major Michael DeSanta vibes, but with way more risk-taking and probably less family drama. The fact that he's specifically described as operating in Vice City tells us a lot too. This isn't just any random location. Vice City has always been about excess, glamour, and living dangerously. Raul fits perfectly into that aesthetic while bringing his own unique flavor to the mix. So why should you care about Raul Bautista? Because he's probably going to be one of those characters who either becomes your mentor or your biggest problem. Maybe both. His whole thing about recruiting talent suggests he might be looking to bring our protagonists into his crew, which could lead to some absolutely insane heist missions. Plus, let's be real. GTA has always been at its best when it gives us complex criminals who aren't just pure evil. Raul seems like he's going to be one of those morally gray characters who you can't help but respect, even when he's making the worst possible decisions. Now let's talk about the mentorship angle, because this is where things get really spicy. We know Jason and Lucia are going to be our main protagonists, and based on what we've seen, they're likely going to be relatively new to the big league criminal world. Enter Raul, the perfect mentor figure who's been there, done that, and stolen the t-shirt. Think about it. Raul's whole philosophy is experience counts, and he's actively hunting for talent. Jason and Lucia probably have raw potential but lack the refined skills and connections to pull off major scores. That's exactly what Raul brings to the table. He's not just going to teach them how to rob banks, he's going to show them how to think like career criminals. The mentorship dynamic is going to be fascinating because Raul isn't your typical wise old mentor trope. This guy's reckless nature means he's probably going to push Jason and Lucia way outside their comfort zones from day one. While other mentors might ease you into things, Raul's more likely to throw them into the deep end and say, "Figure it out or drown." But Raul's recklessness could end up being both a blessing and a curse for our protagonists. On one hand, he'll teach them to take calculated risks and think big. On the other hand, his double down or pull out mentality might put them in situations where they're in way over their heads. I'm betting Raul sees something special in Jason and Lucia that reminds him of himself when he was starting out. Maybe they've got that same hunger for the big score, or maybe they've shown they can adapt under pressure. Either way, he's going to want to mold them into his vision of what professional criminals should be. The really interesting part is how this mentorship might evolve throughout the game. Starting as students learning from a master, but eventually Jason and Lucia might outgrow Raul's methods or disagree with his increasingly risky approach. That tension between loyalty to your mentor and following your own path could create some incredible story moments. GTA has always been at its best when it gives us complex criminals who aren't just pure evil. Raul seems like he's going to be one of those morally gray characters who you can't help but respect, even when he's making the worst possible decisions. Now here's where we need to talk about what Rockstar's probably hiding from us. Because if there's one thing we know about GTA characters, it's that nobody is exactly who they seem to be at first glance. Raul's got this whole charming, experienced criminal thing going on, but knowing Rockstar's storytelling style, there's definitely some deeper stuff brewing beneath the surface. Let's be real. Rockstar loves their tragic backstories and hidden motivations. Remember how Michael's whole retirement thing in GTA 5 was way more complicated than it seemed? Or how Johnny Klebitz had all that baggage from his club falling apart? Raul's probably carrying some serious emotional weight that explains why he's so obsessed with finding new talent and taking bigger risks. My theory? Raul's probably lost people. Maybe his original crew got killed or arrested because of a job that went sideways, and now he's trying to recreate that family dynamic with new recruits. That would explain why he's constantly hunting for fresh talent. He's not just building a crew, he's trying to fill a void left by people who aren't coming back. Or here's another angle. What if Raul's recklessness isn't just personality, but actually desperation? Maybe he's got debts to some seriously dangerous people, or he's being blackmailed by corrupt cops or federal agents. His whole double down or pull out philosophy could be coming from a place where pulling out isn't actually an option for him anymore. Knowing Rockstar's love for exploring themes of loyalty and betrayal, there's probably going to be a moment where Raul's personal motivations conflict with what's best for Jason and Lucia. Maybe he's been planning to use them for one final massive score that would solve all his problems, even if it destroys their lives in the process. The really dark possibility is that Raul sees Jason and Lucia as expendable. He talks about adapting and experience counting. But what if his real plan is to use them as fall guys for whatever mess he's trying to escape from? That would be such a Rockstar move, giving us this charismatic mentor figure who slowly reveals himself to be more selfish and manipulative than we initially thought. But here's what would make it even more complex. Raul probably genuinely cares about Jason and Lucia on some level, even if he's planning to screw them over. That internal conflict between his affection for his protégés and his own survival instincts could create some seriously emotional moments later in the game. Maybe there's some connection to Raul's past that ties into the broader Vice City underworld. Maybe he used to work with some major crime families or cartels, and his current situation is the result of old alliances gone wrong. Rockstar loves connecting their characters to the larger criminal ecosystem of their game worlds. Think about GTA's greatest hits of betrayal. Big Smoke and Ryder selling out CJ and Grove Street. Dimitri screwing over Nico after everything they'd been through. Lance Vance turning on Tommy in Vice City. Even in GTA 5, we had that whole mess with the FIB agents manipulating everyone. The pattern is always the same. Someone you trust, someone who's been helping you, suddenly becomes your biggest enemy. Raul fits this pattern way too perfectly. He's positioning himself as the wise mentor, the guy who's going to teach Jason and Lucia everything they need to know. But his whole philosophy about doubling down or pulling chips from the table sounds like someone who's already made his choice about which side he's on when things go bad. Why I think Raul's definitely going to betray our protagonists. First off, his recklessness isn't random, it's calculated. Every increasingly dangerous job he puts them on is probably building towards something bigger. He's testing their limits, seeing how far he can push them before they break. That's not mentor behavior, that's someone evaluating assets. Second, his constant hunt for talent suggests he's done this before. How many previous protégés has Raul had? And where are they now? Dead? In prison? Used up? And discarded? The fact that he's still out here recruiting instead of working with a stable crew is super suspicious. Third, that whole experience counts thing could be his way of justifying why he deserves to survive while his younger partners don't. In his mind, he's earned the right to save himself at their expense because he's put in the years and they're just starting out. But here's where it gets really twisted. I think Raul's betrayal won't be purely selfish. Rockstar loves morally gray characters, so Raul probably believes he's doing the right thing somehow. Maybe he convinces himself that betraying Jason and Lucia will teach them a valuable lesson about trust in the criminal world. Or maybe he thinks he's protecting them from something even worse by cutting them loose. The timing of the betrayal is going to be crucial too. My bet is it happens right when Jason and Lucia are starting to outgrow his teachings. The moment they show they don't need him anymore, or worse, start questioning his methods, that's when he'll flip the script. Because nothing threatens a narcissistic mentor more than students who've surpassed them. But there's a small chance Rockstar might subvert our expectations here. What if Raul's apparent setup for betrayal is actually misdirection? What if his reckless behavior and sketchy motivations are real? But when push comes to shove, he actually chooses loyalty over self-preservation. That would be a genuine surprise in a series known for betrayals. But honestly, I'm not sure on the subversion. Raul's got future antagonist written all over him. The question isn't if he'll betray Jason and Lucia. It's when, how, and whether they'll see it coming in time to turn the tables on him. Raul seems like he's going to be one of those morally gray characters who you can't help but respect, even when he's making the worst possible decisions. What do you think about Raul Bautista? Are you excited to see how his story plays out in GTA 6? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more GTA 6 content.